Mamas, make sure your babies grow up to be carpenters. Let them swing hammers and drive pickup trucks. Make them play with their sawmills and such. And mamas, make sure your babies grow up to be carpenters. They're always alone 'cause they're driving nails home, 'cause it's something they love. Carpenters ain't easy to love, they're harder to hold. They'd rather build a building than give you diamonds or gold. A big hammer loop on his old faded Levi's, and a place for his tape measure too. If you don't understand him and he don't die young, he'll probably build you something too. Mamas, make sure your babies grow up to be carpenters. Let them swing hammers and drive pickup trucks. Make them play with their sawmills and such. Mamas, make sure your babies grow up to be carpenters. They're always alone 'cause they're driving nails home, because it's something they love. They're always alone, they're driving nails home, because it's something they love.
Hey y'all, I'm kind of learning something here with the camera stuff. You know, as y'all know, I like to have fun learning stuff, but doing things my way. Well, as you can see with the picture, the floor looks semi-level with the picture, and the top looks semi-level. By the way, I do got to do some more fine-tuning on the floor. It just dropped here last year. It wasn't set up permanently, but it appears to be fairly close from the camera. But I want to show you something here. Let's turn the camera a little bit. Well, the bottom still looks pretty close to level, but look at that back. Look at the top of it. Looks way out. We'll turn it back this way here. Now the top looks reasonably close, and the bottom's starting to look out. Kind of cool, huh? Hey, just another person has to pay attention with camera tricks and stuff. Well, that's, you know what, as far as I'm concerned, I don't care how out of level it appears to be, or how out of far of level it is. It's just a shed. It'll be level enough when it's done. Won't be perfect, but you won't know it. Anyway, let me get on with this. Now remember my saw, that trigger's sticky. I got a better saw in the shop, I'm just too lazy to do the service work on it. Maybe this winter I'll get to it. We'll play that one by ear. But what that means is if a person is too lazy to maintain the tools that they got, they ain't worthy of sending donations to, so keep that in mind, folks. One thing about working construction, Never leave your litter laying around. It's hazardous. But hey, I'm a hazardous type of a guy, so who cares? Okay. The one thing that I did forget is my staple gun. Did I grab the staples? Must have left them. Oh, no, there's my staples. Be right back, folks. You know, I'm a firm believer that if a person's going to take on a project like this here, that they should know how to swing a hammer, you know, reasonably well enough. They should know how it works. But I tell you what, nail guns sure do make things easy. Oh yeah. But then you have the maintenance on them. You know, when I started out framing, the way it was back then was, by the time a person pulled out the air hose and got their compressor set up and got the nails for the nail gun and everything, and then the gun breaks on down, then you got to roll on up. It was actually faster to frame oils by hand back in the day. It's changed a little bit since then. It's actually faster to frame with a nail gun. And even if it isn't, I'll tell you this much. At the end of the day, I know who's worn out more. The guy framing by hand is worn out more than the guy that's using a nail gun. Anyway, what did I do with that air hose? Now this is a fairly new staple gun I got last year. It's a Makita. It's not something that I would typically gone out and buy, but for the price, I thought, you know what, Makita makes some pretty good tools. I'm going to give them a chance. I'm not a commercial builder anymore. I'll give it a try. And so far, I've had good luck with this Makita staple gun. I really like it. Now, my preference is, I like Hitachi. Hitachi framing guns are the best. I like Paslode staple. Something else you have to put up with nail guns is you got to put up with the noise of the air compressor. But that's all right. Anyway, what I was wanting to point out, this one by that I'm putting on, this is not a conventional frame sled, and this thing is split right here. It's not going to make never mind, you know, on the integrity of this shop. Some stuff I just want to use the crappiest stuff, and some stuff I decided I want to use the prettiest of stuff. Anyway, let's get this piece on. easier to go up over the top of the ladder than it is to climb up through this tight spot for me. You know, one thing, about using a staple gun when you're trying to bring two boards together. A lot of times your bottom board will bounce apart, so a person wants to put their hand behind it and push with the nail gun to shoot. Even if you know the staple or the nail is short enough to where it won't penetrate through the wood, it's still not a good idea to put your hand right behind where it's going to shoot. I want to tell you, several years ago I did that. I was doing a little bit of finish work. I had a weird, I'm not even going to get into what it was, but I had to put a brad nail in for this side here, and I had my hand, pushing up against it because I knew my brad was not long enough to go through. Well, I had that misfortunate accident where the gun jumped and it came back and shot a second shot because I held on the trigger when I fired it. It shot two brad nails all at the same time, basically. And it drove the first brad nail, it landed right on top of the first brad nail. And it drove that first brad nail all the way through the board, and that brad nail was 1 3/4 inches long. Well, that brad nail went all the way through my wrist. That was in the morning. I finished out the day. It didn't hurt that bad. I mean, I was able to pull it myself. But I tell you what, come that night, that one time when we started rolling up, my wrist started throbbing, it started hurting. I never had pain quite that bad before. Well, yeah, I had, but I mean, it was painful. And one of the rare few times that I actually went to see a doctor over something stupid like that. And what it was is that second nail that hit, when that nail came on through, it pushed a little shot of air on in there into my arm, and I had an air bubble in my wrist. And that's what was causing the pain. Thing is, that can be really hazardous too if it gets into the bloodstream. Anyway, folks, I'm going to smoke a cigarette. Yeah, the next part is I got to get up on this ladder with the sawzall, and I got to trim off the top of the siding. So that's where we're going to next. So anyway, let's get on it, okay?
She the one who really gets down and she sister Will and she buggy. She do the Tuesday boogie. Now boogie little baby, boogie woogie all night long. Boogie time.
Well, y'all get the idea on that part. I don't think I need to film the rest of this, trim around the rest